in 1974, on April 23rd, we landed in Fort Scott from suburban New York to a farm in Devon. We loved living in the East Coast. We really enjoyed all the advantages that you have of living and working in the metropolitan area. I worked at 5th Avenue and 54th Street, New York, which is sort of the heart of everything that goes on in the city. My husband was on Wall Street, and we loved it there. But we felt we needed a change after we had 3 children. And we thought it was important to look at a different lifestyle. And so my husband agreed to come here and manage a ranch for a business friend of his from Kansas City. So we came here and moved into a very tiny home with very few conveniences, and we're there for 5 years. And our love affair with Fort Scott began, and this community began the minute we got here. The Chamber of Commerce was very important for anything we did because of its connection with pride and the good things the Chamber does. And I was involved in the Chamber in Pittsburgh as well. I spent 15 years in Pittsburgh, so I was a member of their Chamber, and then also worked on the legislative board at the Kansas City Chamber of Commerce. So Chamber's always been really the basis of any of the projects. I think you have a strong Chamber, you have a strong community. So all of it, I think, sort of flows out from that. And then church activities, building this building with Gordon Zimmerman. I remember Gordon Zimmerman, Reverend Zimmerman was the pastor of the Presbyterian Church, and we needed this building, the Tourist Information Center in Fort Scott Area Chamber of Commerce. And Gordon said, we're going to raise the money in 2 weeks, and if we don't have it in 2 weeks, we obviously don't have a need for this. And it was within about 2 weeks that we were able to build this. Helping out with the fort. I worked closely with Sheridan Steele to try and provide, and I think we raised about $50,000 in a partnership program so that we could buy the freight wagon and some of the needed tack and some of the supplies they needed for their reenactment programs there. And the city was very, very generous. And we were very appreciative that they understood how important that fort would be as a National Historic Site to the growth of the community. When I was working for the government for Senator Brownback and Senator Moran, what impressed me most would be my conversations with the veterans, with the people, military people who came in. And I just had a real need or a passion to want to do anything to honor them and help them. And I come from a non-military family, so this was my first real up close and personal contact with the veterans, and it became a passion, and becomes more so each day, really. Well, when we had the flooding, the Key Industries flooding years ago, and the streets were all flooded, and this whole region east of town, we certainly knew that we needed to do something about the flooding, and so working with Ag Engineering in Uniontown, the grant was they were interested in getting a federal grant, federal dollars for that to stop the flooding to build 4 watersheds. And I remember I got a call from then Senator Brownback about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and he said, and this was years after we had asked for this, and he said the shovel-ready projects that were going to get this money are not shovel-ready. And he said, do you still want it? And I said, oh my gosh, I think we want it, but I haven't we haven't brought it up for a long time. So I called John George's office on the phone, and they said he had just landed in Kansas City. And so I got him on the phone, and I said, I have 5 minutes. Do we get the several $1 million for the 4 watersheds? And he said, we definitely want it. And we were able to get back to Senator Brownback, and we got it. And that certainly has made a significant difference in the flooding that we've had. I think that was the most fun and exciting thing that I've worked on in Fort Scott. I met with Judy Renard and Mary Asher and the chamber director at that time, Mary Lynn Munden, and we were at the Fort Scott Inn, and I just said, let's do some kind of a celebration, number one, so that we create a greater appreciation in this community of what we have here, and also to let other people know what we have, and also to generate more tourism. And I said, it has to have some kind of theme. And without a second passing, Judy Renard said, you mean like good old days? And I said, yeah. I said, now we need a logo. And Mary Asher said, how about the old unicycle or the bicycle? And Mary Lynn said, yeah, I think it's a good idea, and that was it. And people came to us and said, can we do a car show? Can we do a boat race? Can we do this, that, or the other thing? I have repeatedly told people that the three greatest blessings in our family's life would be our faith, our family, and Fort Scott. And while we thought we loved Pennsylvania, and we loved Philadelphia, and we loved New York, there is no better place to rear your family and to enjoy my golden years in this community.